And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey folks, I'm Tom Vasel.
I'm Holly Vasel.
Now you might wonder why Holly is joining me today, and that is because of the entire Vasel family. Holly hates vegetables the most. Do you think that's true?
Yes.
Yeah. Right. So I thought this game, Bad Beets, which is about getting rid of your vegetables, would be a game that Holly would like, because she would like to sneak her vegetables. Do you wish we had a dog that would eat vegetables?
I still didn't feed it vegetables because you didn't let our last dog.
Well, yeah, okay, that's the point. But still, I knew Holly would try to get rid of the vegetables. And this is a game about bluffing, but it's more based for kids and stuff. Let's take a look. Bad Beets comes with a pile of beets. There's some ice cream there too, but not yet, folks. Bad Beets, each player is going to get 8 beets. So there's 2, 4, 6, and 8 beets. Each player is also going to draw a card from this deck of cards. You have one card. When it's the first person to go, we'll draw an extra card from the deck, and then they'll start. So what I do first is I look at these 2 cards. I decide which card I'm going to keep. I pass the other card to the player who is after me. That player is not going to take the card yet, but when it's their turn, they're going to take the card in their hand, plus that card, look between those 2, pass one to the next person, then play their card, or say they're playing their card. So the way this works is you can take an action on your turn. You can always take the action, eat a beet. Nom 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 nom. Get rid of 1 beet. Easy enough. You can also eat 3 beets. That means you're feeding the dog. There's a card that allows you to do that, called Feed the Dog. Now, if you are not have the card that's feeding the dog, I have Share, for example, then someone can call me out. They might say, I don't think you have Feed the Dog. And if they are correct, then I don't get to eat those 3 beets. And in fact, I must take an extra beet. If I call somebody out and they do have the card that they say they do, then I get an extra beet. Either way, if someone's ever called out in their card, the card is gone. You can share. That gives 2 beets to another player. Again, for that action, you need the card. You need a card for every action except for eating a beet. And then there's Tattletale. And Tattletale means you guess someone else's card. If you get it right, you get to give them 4 beets. This is very useful when you've given them one of the 2 cards that they looked at. So you have a 50% chance if you're right before that person. There are other cards in here too that can be played as a reaction. If someone is trying to call your card with Tattletale, you can say, nah, and you give them 4 beets instead. You can call this even if the other person doesn't actually have a Tattletale card. They might say they have a Tattletale card, but it doesn't matter. If someone calls you out, you can show this card, nah. And then there's also a copycat. If someone else feeds a dog, I can say, well, I have this card too, and you can get rid of 2 beets. Again, you can do that when someone else says they're feeding the dog, whether or not they have the dog or not. So this keeps going. Remember, you can call bluff on any of these cards. When someone gets rid of all their beets, they win. Or if you wish to play a longer game, they get some ice cream. Huzzah! And then the first person to get 3 ice creams after winning 3 games is the winner. All right, Holly, what'd you think of Bad Beets?
It's really fun that you get a tattletale on people.
Okay.
And that you get, there's copycat.
Right, and feeding the dog and sharing with other people. So is it easy to tell when someone else is lying?
Sometimes, not all the time.
Who lies the most?
Melody.
Melody? Okay, fair enough. And if you've played games like Coup or games like that, you'll recognize that this is similar to that. Basically, it's a bluffing style game. I think the game theme is great, the artwork's great, the idea of it's great, it works well. I will complain a little bit about the rule book. There was a little bit of non-explanation of some things like timing issues that I think could have been explained better in the rule book, but I found those online. But it's a pretty simple game. You simply play a card, or say you have a card, right? And the game's really fast, too. And who's the best at the game?
Me.
Yeah, probably. Is that because of real life?
No.
Now, you might be cautious. You say, I don't want to teach my kids to lie. That's fair enough. But if you play the game and you explain it's all done in a silly way, and it's kind of a good idea because, again, you can use some deduction. I gave you 2 cards. And I gave you 1 card, so that's a 50% chance that you have taken that card. But you know I gave you 1 card, and so on. And so kids will like it. They love getting rid of the beats. They like saying, nah, or, or I'm telling on him, or things like that. And I think the theme of it's very fun. So what's your final thoughts on the game?
I like the ice cream.
Ice cream. Is ice cream better than vegetables?
Yes.
Well, that's probably actually true. But anyhow, that's what we have here. Bad Beets, a game. I mean, you can play this with adults, but I think it's best with families and kids. Check it out.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.
Shut the door!
There.